How do you tell someone it's not as easy as it seems? How do you tell someone it's difficult? How do you tell someone it's not fun in games anymore? How do you tell someone the outcome may be the complete opposite of what they expected? How do you tell someone maybe it's just a dream? The past few months, or should I say the past few years, has been sort of a learning journey for me. Figuring things out has been one of the most difficult things I had to do. I could say I didn't manage that very well, but at least we made it till today. I'd say that was my quarter-life crisis. Losing myself, losing my identity, losing my purpose, and slowly finding them back. And now there was only one last thing left to figure out. It's 2024 now. A lot of things are going to change this year. And change might be uncomfortable and I'm not ready for it, but I have to embrace this new chapter. But what if I tried to do things differently? What if I didn't decide to change for the better? What if a few years ago I chose the other path? What if I just give it all up and live on a boat? No, I'm just kidding. But it feels like this is the most important crossroad of my life. The one that will decide how my life will go on. Okay, maybe that sounds way too serious, but I was brought up in a way where education and career defines your life. Not that it's wrong to think that way, but it's just having too much expectations, too much pressure to make the right choice, the safest choice, the most successful choice. Go on a safe route, do something common, marry someone ordinary, and I might just be successful, but that feels like a failure to me. Or carve my own path, the uncertainties of the future, filled with promise and doubt at the same time. Every decision feels like a leap of faith, a step into the unknown and the what might be, but it just feels way too unpredictable. You know, an ordinary life scares me, but an unpredictable life feels way too risky at the same time. So coming to Australia, right? It's my first time in Australia. And so far, I would say it has lived up to its reputation. The people here are very nice. And the environment here, it's quite friendly. Throughout my life, I had many dreams. I had a life planned out. In fact, I have many lives planned out. It ranged from the safest routes with the brightest outcomes to the route that people frowned upon. I wanted to live in Canada, I wanted to work in America, I wanted to move to France, I wanted to travel around the world. Maybe I just watched too many YouTube videos, it all felt a little unrealistic. But at least, it was a dream. I researched towns, jobs, places, just to envision what life could be. Forgetting that it's not as easy as it seems. It's difficult. It's not fun in games anymore. Life there may be the complete opposite of what I expected. It's just a dream. Yet the internal dissonance, the disquieting sensation of not belonging grows larger each second. Hi. Afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, all good. G'day, my name's Andrew.
So I managed to make my first big decision for my future. I just decided where I want to study and what I want to study for the next 3 years. And honestly, it wasn't an easy decision. There were other choices and safer paths that I could take. But it just felt like this particular path was meant for me. Like it was calling for me. So yeah, today's the day that I tell my parents about this decision that I've made.
I think I want to go overseas and study.
And honestly, I don't know how they'll react.
Because I want to fly.
No, actually I do know how they'll react. I just hope it won't be as bad as I think it would be.
There's so many things for you to do here, but you want to fly other places. Then I also cannot see you for so long.
So recently I found myself spiraling into fits of anxiety because of everything that's going on. It's a scary path, and so many things could go wrong. And more often than not, the voices of doubts from myself or from others are louder than my own aspirations. Because throughout my life, I've thought of many careers, and even though being a pilot has always been a dream of mine, how will I know if my mind won't waver this time, or how will I know if I would like this career that I chose or this country that I chose to live in? And so I began to realize that this is going to take a lot of determination, courage, and confidence, which is nowhere to be found. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought.
Whoa, am I sitting in a reggae?
So I'm leaving the country to live alone for a while and to study something that I'm passionate about. And that takes a lot of self-belief and confidence, which clearly is something that I'm struggling with right now. It's like one day I think I can take on the entire world, and the next day I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Which I think is a pretty normal thing to feel, but it's just because of this very big difference between what I'm doing now and what I'm doing in the future that makes me feel this way. So I just want to ask, what do you do to remind yourself that like, hey, things are gonna work out?
I think generally a lot of the times we get sucked into this idea of like, if you fail at something and something doesn't go well, then everything's gonna go to shit. Because I mean, you know, we grew up in an Asian household, so we have always had this mindset that like, oh, you have to like succeed at everything, grades gonna be like A and everything. And then if you fail, you think that if you don't achieve this, then you know you're gonna be like homeless or like your parents not gonna love you. But I think it's really not the case. You know, if I look at some people, they are just grateful and happy at where they are in life. They didn't even graduate. And it brings me to like happiness. I have this simple philosophy for living a happy life, which is to stop chasing things. Because when you chase something, you create a gap between you and it. And you make it seem like it's out of your reach. And your happiness is put on hold until you get it. So what if you never get it? What if it keeps eluding you? And what if it's also not really what you want? You end up wasting your precious time and energy on something that doesn't fulfill you. And you miss out on the joy of like living in the present moment. That's why I think happiness is not a destination, it's a state of being. So just enjoy the journey, and you know the people that love you and support you are there. So there's really nothing much to be worried about. Yeah.
I think confidence also admitting that me and you don't know everything, and especially like the path that we're gonna take, like figuring things out, you're gonna be riddled with a lot of doubt. So you might as well be like okay with it. Like tomorrow is gonna be a different day. It's gonna be a new day. Because the good thing about the path that you've chosen, right, is you're chasing after something that is aligned with your own passion and your own heart.
This path that I'm gonna take is scary, and I do have a lot of fears about what's gonna happen. But this is also the time to believe in what I am and believe in myself. I began to think hard about what kind of life do I want to have in the future. Block out all the noise and chatter. What do I believe in? What makes me feel alive? just changing the trajectory of my life and choosing another path might be the safest route for me, but I may never be contented or fulfilled in living that life. And ultimately, I can go back and forth between these two, but at the end of the day, I'll have to decide what I believe in and what I deem to be true at some point. Today's 12th January, and so I went ahead with the application, and they just sent me an email about it today, which I looked at the email, as you can see here, and then there's a document attached there which I haven't looked at all. Honestly, I'm feeling every possible emotion I could right now. I'm nervous, I am excited, but the best advice right now would be head full of fears has no space for dreams. Whatever the outcome, I'll always figure it out. I got in!